Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Tuesday, March 7th. And once again, on Tuesdays, I'm joined by Mr. Jesse Shule of jesseshule.com, Mr. Sean Higgs of picksandparleys.net, two of the finest handicappers in the country that we're lucky to have. And we're going to have three college basketball free picks for you on Wednesday, the 8th. But before we get to those, let's say hello. Jesse, my man from Thailand, how are you, my friend?
Well, another winning day in the books. Last night hit 2 of 3, so can't complain. Try to keep the ball rolling into the tournament.
There you go. Little words of encouragement from me and Sean, and it seems they have done wonders because you haven't lost since. So that's good.
Exactly.
Does it shock you that he bounced back, Sean? It certainly doesn't shock me.
No, that's you don't last 20 years here, having long losing streaks. You bounce back. That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. We say it all the time. You have to leave what happened yesterday behind, as difficult as that may be. And because you don't want to turn one losing day into two losing days because your focus is off because you're sulking from what happened the day before. Now, we're all human, right? So we've gone through this discussion time and time again, folks, but you don't last this long, like Sean says, unless you have that consistency in winning, number one, and that mindset, number two. And it takes a long time to train yourself to get into that mindset. So, and any rants from Sean Higgs today?
No, I'm pretty laid back right now. I mean, I'm wrapped in the tour. The NCAA's here. I'm happy. I started out the month pretty good. I was at 60%. I went 3 and 3 yesterday. Not as good as Jesse. I get a lucky push on my BYU comes back for a miracle push. Another game I should have had a win. I took a loss on. That was my February. I thought the first week of March, I'm like, here we go. That's what I like to see. Like 27 to 15. We're starting to roll a little bit, and then I get hit with a 2 and 4 and a 3 and 3. I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah.
But like you said, you gotta, that's the way it goes, man. That's just the way the games are sometimes.
Yeah, but still, if you do the math, that's a pretty good March so far, even with 5 and 7 the last 2 days.
I think we're like 56%. I'll take. People frown on 50s. It's not Jesse S 60s, high 60%, low 60s. But I'll do 55, 56 because I'll have triple the amount of plays as Jesse. Like I'm coming out with like 15 games or something, so I'll be happy. I don't know why. I say all the time, 55. I'll take 55. I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy over.
No, especially when you're a volume handicap.
2,000 games.
Yeah, volume handicap.
Of just college basketball.
55% when you're a volume handicapper will make you a ton of money, folks, if you do the math. Jesse, anything on your mind? Anything that pisses you off lately? Anything that makes you happy? Anything you want to add?
Champions League soccer. I guess you guys don't want to hear about that, but it's getting quite exciting. I'm watching a game in the background as we speak. It's I just seen somebody hit the post in the Chelsea Dortmund game, but I'll try not to let that distract me for the show here.
I'm ready to come in with a double rant now. That since you just brought up that soccer stuff. So they're talking about like, oh, Adam Silver wants the NBA to do something like this, to have like a little mini tournament in the middle of the season. These lazy SOBs can't even play the regular games. How the heck are you going to let them fly out or do whatever in the middle of the season? Like, oh, they don't show up as it is? They're going to come at some charity event like this? Yeah. My butt. And number 2, the stand pitch clock in baseball, man. I hate it. I can't. I look at these totals. I said I'm done betting spring training. I'm thinking I'm like 8 and 10. I'm like, no more. I'm done. I am done with that. And I'm like an under guy. I'm going to be on every over this year. These pitchers, especially anybody who hasn't pitched in the minors in the last 4 years, these guys are going to go more than 5 innings. There's no way that Scherzer and Verlander and Coles or Lance, any of the old guys are going to be able to pitch more than 4 innings. Got to come out and just whip that ball every 10, 15 seconds. No way.
Yeah. Where's Mark Burley when you need him?
Every overs, square overs. Boy, people are going to get. It's going to be a rich April. I'm going to have between the run lines and now overs. Please, I made money betting unders in run lines. Now it's going to be all overs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah,
I got to buy new counting machines.
Baseball being such a traditional game, and sacred rules as we go along. We've seen a lot of movement in terms of the rules that have been in place for over a century. When you go to the extra inning rule now, where the guy
extra phantom runner.
Yeah.
I can do a bigger base. You want bigger base? I mean, I can live with that. I can live with a little bigger base. And the shift was a joke anyway. The phantom runner and pitch counts. What are we? Let's appeal to people who don't watch the sport as it is. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
How about when you're going to pay $90 a ticket or more at Yankee Stadium or any of the big? You're going to get up to take a leak and go get something to eat, and you're going to miss 3 innings of baseball.
Yeah.
You're going to miss 3 innings.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's got to be.
You started this, Ross. You started this. You want to go down this road? You want to go down this road?
I'm going to put you on a shot clock if you don't shut the hell up.
Like a little timeout window. Set me out for.
No, we love when Sean expresses his opinion, man. It's very entertaining. Jesse, any thoughts on the shot clock? And hopefully you didn't have Manchester City the other day.
Manchester United, they lost 7-0, and I had the over, so I was quite pleased with that. But you know what, Ross? I don't have time to think about the shot clock or the pitch count clock in baseball until the tournament's over or until opening day, and then I'll start bitching about that. But until then, I'm focused on college basketball. I don't know how Sean does it. Juggling. I got soccer to juggle and
I don't do
NHL and NBA. And the last thing I need to worry about is baseball, preseason baseball. No way, not for me.
Yeah, Sean just doesn't seem to get overwhelmed by anything. So that seems to be his ticket.
Well, it's easy because NBA easy. I look at him like, all right, I get how we bet in NBA. I don't know he was even playing today. So that's automatic. Yeah. Really, I mean, I think I bet 30 games all year in the NBA. No, thank you. Yeah. In hockey, I dabble, but Jesse's more. He's an ice guy. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got a soccer ice. He's got
one eye on the game right now, and you're holding him up. Or I'm holding him up. I don't know. We're both holding him up. I guess.
And let me tell you, when Jesse starts out like on a 1-7 run in baseball, he's gonna be like, I don't know what's going on here with this. He's gonna
be pissing and moaning about the shot clock, and Sean's gonna say,
I can't believe this.
You so.
I get the guy. It was they awarded the guy first base because the guy didn't pitch the ball fast enough or something. Yeah. Wait till that happens. Well, I can't. Well, that'll be a great bad beat refund when that starts going on. Nope. I'm frozen.
Anyway,
with my face in there.
No, it's a good topic.
Was my thing frozen? It was just shaking. Did you see that?
Shaking,
or no?
Yeah.
You were shaking. You created an earthquake. Anyway,
you looked like that guy from the 80s. I think his name was Max Headroom.
Max Headroom?
That's what you looked like.
Anyway, all right. We got 3 college basketball free picks for you on today's show. And now that we're all done ranting and Jesse takes one eye off the soccer game and his attention comes to us right now because we don't want to hold him up anymore. So he can look at his soccer game while we talk. So let's get him right out of the way. What do you think about that? Anyway, Jesse, Stanford and Utah. Right now, according to 5 Dimes, Utah is a 2-point favorite, and the total in this game is 136. And what do you got?
Well, Ross, tough game, tough to handicap the Pac-12, but I do like the dog here. Utah is the better team. They got the better record overall. They got the better record in conference play, but they did not finish the season on top form. They lost 5 straight. Now, granted, they had some tough competition. They played Colorado, USC, UCLA, Arizona, and Arizona State, but they didn't cover in any of those games either. They've only covered twice in their last 10 overall. Stanford is like a schizophrenic team. You never know what you're going to get from them, but when they're good, they're very good. They won 2 of their last 5 games. They've covered the spread in 5 of their last 7. One of those was an 88-79 win over Arizona. Obviously a big upset, an impressive result for them. So they can play with anybody. They've been a little bit better down the stretch. They've been better at covering the spread. I wouldn't be surprised if some money comes in on Utah just based on the fact they got a better record. So I would advise bettors to maybe wait a while before they get in on this, see if that number gets bet up a little bit, and take the points is what I'm going to say. And I'm keeping it brief just to allow Sean more time for his rants.
Yeah, Stanford, they live and die by the three sometime, especially in Pac-12 play. And I think, Jesse, that's where the inconsistencies come in. Because anytime you're a predominantly three-point shooting team, especially as an underdog, if you're knocking them down, you're always going to have a chance to pull the upset like they did against Arizona. But if you're not knocking them down, you're going to lose an inferior opposition as well, like they have throughout the course of their Pac-12 schedule and throughout their schedule overall. Sean looks like he's lost over there. He's turning from side to side. We want to rein him back in because he's going to have a pick for us. Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. Right now, we have 5 Dimes has Oklahoma State as a 1-point favorite, and the total being 135. And like the late great Ronnie Van Zant of Leonard Skinner says, we're going to sick an Okie on you. And it's the Okie this time. Really not an Okie. He's in Texas. It's Sean Higgs. So tell us what's going on, my friend.
I was looking for my Pac-12 bracket because I kind of like Utah. Listen, UCLA and Arizona are like the top dogs here. I think they're like 150 each to win, or 135, 180. So I want to take Utah 25-1. I did a little 25-1 to win the Pac-12 Utah, and USC has a 7-1. I don't hate that one there. I don't know. I figured I'd throw that out there. They did beat Arizona early in the year. Utah. They play defense. You play defense, you got a shot. Teams go cold sometimes. So, but sorry. That's what I'll tell you. My Utah. Sometimes you ask about what do you think about the other guy's pick, Ross. So yeah. Anyway, let's talk some terrible Oklahoma basketball, because that's what we got out of these two guys. Oh my goodness, 40-1 shots to win the Big 12, and I don't think any of them are going that far. Oklahoma State, they looked pretty good, and then their guard Anderson went out, so they lost 5 straight. They won 2, then they lose 5 in a row. When you're beating Texas Tech, who's one of the worst teams in conference, I really can't give you much credit. I mean, your floor general's gone. You've played like garbage. You did beat these guys twice. I'm just going to lean to Oklahoma here because you see something as a 10 seed favorite over a 7. It's kind of like the NCAA tournament when you see like the higher or lower seed, however you want to word it. The team that you don't think is going to be favored over the higher ranked team. And just the way they played without their guard, I think it's pretty obvious. He's missing. They don't win. So Sooners, it's, they say you can't beat good teams 3 times, which is a lie. We see teams get swept. But in this case, when you're missing a guy who controls the tempo of your team and you've seen them drop 5 in a row and beat Texas Tech, yeah, I'm not buying it. I'll take Oklahoma here, and they'll go on to this. Let's remember Oklahoma, as we talk about Jekyll and Hyde teams like Stanford or Utah, we could insert a lot of teams into the Jekyll and Hyde category in college basketball this year. They beat Alabama.
Yeah, they crushed them too. They crushed them.
And then they proceed to lose 6 or 7 after they do stuff like that. So, who knows what you're going to get in a pick'em. Sign me up here with Oklahoma. I was going to say the home team, but it is a neutral here. Give me Oklahoma.
Well, it sounds like Sean is going with the lesser of 2 evils. Your thoughts, Jesse?
I like Oklahoma as well, but I like the total better. I would go with the over in this game. Oklahoma State's been really terrible defensively lately. They've allowed 80 points per game in their last 5. Oklahoma has been scoring. They're scoring over 70 points per game in their last 5. It's sort of a low number. I mean, you think about these two teams, you sort of knee-jerk reaction is under, but the way they've played lately, I like the over.
Yeah, and then numbers inviting too at 136. So
let me ask you real fast, both of you guys. So this is a 9:00 game. We're talking, totals in this game and stuff like that. What do you feel like your early, 11:30, 12 a.m. games? Do you tend to think more under because there's no crowds and it's kind of a slow start, teams going, especially in tournament time, kind of like early in the season, we got those, games in the Bahamas and stuff. What do you feel about the early games? Do you lean under in those more?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have an exact mindset when it comes to that, but it certainly makes sense what you're saying because, like you said, the early portion of these, usually they're quadruple headers at the Big 12 tournament or a big whatever conference tournament, and early in the day, sparse crowds, which creates a bigger background which creates a tougher shooting environment. I guess you can go with that mindset, but I really don't give that much thought whatsoever. I tend to steer away from those early games because you just don't know how teams are going to react. Because that's not normal to be playing 11:30 in the morning or noon Eastern time in the middle of the week. During the holiday tournaments, yes, but now they become accustomed to playing a conference schedule where the only times they really play in that time slot is on the weekends, and then they're in a school pattern Monday through Friday. So yeah, I mean, it's a good point, Sean, but I don't have a specific or definitive answer to that, but I could certainly see where you're going. Jesse, your thoughts?
I think it's one factor. I do consider that early games, slow to get started on offense. But our good friend Kyle Hunter is the master of betting totals in college basketball, and he does a lot of work on venues. And I think Ross alluded to that with the crowd size and the size of the venue. And if the venue is designed for college basketball, or if they're playing in like a Lucas Oil Stadium that's designed more for football, or some of these bigger venues, the shooting can be a little off at times in some of these. So there's a lot of historical trends that you can pay attention to at various venues. And I think I mentioned the other night about the West Coast Conference venue tends to trend over.
Yeah. And all due respect to Kyle Hunter, I'm 38-19 with my last 50 college basketball totals. So if he's doing better than that, I'll tip my hat to him. Anyway, Kyle's a great handicapper.
He's good. Kyle's he's his totals, boy. He's solid as a rock. He's like an oak.
Yeah,
man.
No,
he's the guy that I'd ask if I had a question about totals. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Because someone said to me when I was doing the show, I like the over in Manhattan, and I'd like, why do you like the game? I'm like, I just these guys. It's a night game. It's not the early game, and I feel like at those games at night, you got other teams staying to watch the other teams play. So it's kind of like. Not like a Monday night game, but you're there. Now forget about the fans. They're all staying there because they're all going to rally around their team. And plus everybody's going to cheer for an underdog. So it's just more of like that game. I always think is going to be like an over kind of game anyway, as opposed to the morning game where you hear sneakers screeching and yelling out plays. I enjoy the early game. I love those. It's like, you hear coach yelling out, pass, I don't know.
All right. So now that we got that all out of the way with the totals and, Jesse doesn't want to ask me anything about totals, and that's okay because I'm going to keep it to myself and keep winning. Screw you. Anyway, West Virginia, Texas Tech, 7:00 Eastern time tomorrow. That would be, Wednesday the 8th. We are taping on Tuesday the 7th, folks. Keep in mind, we're giving you lines as they're just coming out 24 hours in advance. So depending on when you view the video, these lines are subject to change. Right now, 5 Dimes has West Virginia as a 2.5 point favorite in the total in this game, 147.5. Boy, oh boy, what is it with these coaches in Texas? Chris Beard, he gets let go early in the year because of a domestic dispute. And now his wife says, I never intended on getting him arrested. And now he's a hot commodity in terms of where he's going to go because there was no charges filed. Now, Texas Tech coach, Mark Adams, a well-respected junior college coach in the state of Texas for many, many years, bided his time, got the job at Texas Tech. They had a good year last year, but now that he's been more in the position where it's his recruits coming in and not somebody else's, didn't fare very well this year. As a matter of fact, Texas Tech is 5-13. In conference play this year. And lo and behold, he has just been suspended because of some racially motivated remarks he made in front of his team. And according to reports, Texas Tech players went right to the chancellors and the powers that be at Texas Tech and said vehemently they were not going to play for this guy, which left the administration not a lot of choices. So I can't imagine that there's a lot of continuity and going to be a lot of chemistry on the Texas Tech side heading into this tournament. On top of the fact they lost their last 3 games heading into the tournament. West Virginia, on the other hand, 18-13. But you know what jumps out to me, guys, is when you look at Ken Pom, who I respect a lot, when it comes to their analytics and rankings. They have West Virginia ranked number 17 in the country, despite their 18-13 record. Now, part of that is the fact that they play in the best conference in America. The other part is they've been coming on late. West Virginia 3-1 in their last 4. Their only loss came at Kansas by 2, a game in which they were easily inside the number as a 9-point dog. Also, the fact that they're going to be playing with revenge, because the last time they played Texas Tech in Morgantown, they got knocked off 78-72 on February 18th. Much has changed since then with both teams, as I just alluded to. And I think West Virginia, the difference in this game will be their innate ability to rebound offensively. That's been a trademark of the Bob Huggins team at West Virginia, and it's no different this year. They're number 1 in the Big 12 when it comes to offensive rebounding. And Texas Tech, by the way, they're just number 9 defensive rebounding in Big 12 action. So I think that will be a key ingredient to the win for West Virginia. And right now, there's no money line on the game. It's -2.5. If I can get 135 or less, I'll lay the money line with West Virginia. If not, I'll take West Virginia right up to a 4-point favorite if it gets that high. So again, I like West Virginia here on the money line over Texas Tech. If it goes to greater than 135, I'm going to lay the point spread right up to 4 with Texas Tech. And again, Sean likes Oklahoma plus the 1 over Oklahoma State. And Jesse, he likes the Stanford Cardinal plus the 2 against the Utah Jazz. Gentlemen, one by one, we got about 10 minutes here. And yes, we are on the shot clock. Jesse, tell the folks how you've been doing of late and what you might have coming up.
Well, I had a bit of a tough spell back last week, but 3 straight winning days to snap out of it, back over 60% for the year. So happy about that. I did have a pretty big showing in the NCAA tournament last year. I was 20-8 overall. That's 71%. And I started the tournament by going 8-0 in the first round, which was obviously pretty impressive. I don't know if I can guarantee that I'll be doing that again, but I'll certainly be trying my hardest. You can get my picks at jesseshewell.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jesse Shewell, and you can see me on YouTube at Jesse Shewell's Picks.
So jesseshewell.com, there's where you get all the winners from this, one of the best handicappers in the country you'll find, not only in basketball, but in football as well as soccer. So you soccer fans who like to dabble in once in a while and put some bets in, Jesse's a good guy to follow in that regard. Sean, tell the folks what's been going on of late and what you may have coming up.
As I said, I started out March nice, 25-17, tidy 60%. I had a losing day, a 3-3 in one day yesterday. But you know what? We start the day today. Richmond in a big blowout. I had them. If you watch midday money or late night money, or as Jesse calls it, midnight money, 7 days a week, free picks. I gave out Richmond -120. The line went to 3.5. So we had a winner there, a winner on St. Joe's, and I got a little Florida State money line working as well here. So we're looking pretty good. Possibly a nice clean sweep in the morning. So follow that. You can find it on the Winning Free Picks YouTube channel, or just Google it in podcast form, wherever you watch your podcast, Twitter, Mr. Sean Higgs. And no soccer for me, very limited NBA, although I do dabble a little ice every once in a while, but college hoops, full throttle. I think I had like 15 games today or something. How many I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 games. 12 games today going college basketball.
A little bit of action.
Yes.
There you have it. Sean Higgs over at picksandparleys.net. Again, you can watch his midday money podcast that he airs every day, Monday through Sunday, noon Eastern time, right there at picksandparleys.net. Also, Sean, what's that YouTube channel you want them to follow your show on?
That's no Winning Free Picks. The same. Listen, it's the same company, Picks Parleys. Just Winning Free Picks. I just load up there more often because there's sometimes my live show gets lost on the live streams over there. So that's why I just say Winning Free Picks. I'm the only live show, so it's easy to find.
So brilliant minds do think alike, because if you watched the video I did with Doug Upstone yesterday, I gave St. Joe's out as a pick yesterday, and Sean just informed me they won. So that's always a good sign. By the way, now you guys you got me hell bent on this. Basketball totals, NBA and college basketball combined, Jesse. How about 54-30 since April 17th of last year? 64.3%. College basketball totals 38-18 since March 11th of last year. That's good for about 68%. So again, all due respect to Kyle Hunter, but he can't tie my shoes right now over the last 6 months. You can find all my picks at rbwins.com. And you can find Sean at picksandparlays.net, and my man Jesse Shule, you can find him at jesseshule.com. And now that the shot clock is winding down, gentlemen, we have to leave, but we will be back. And we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be talking college basketball once again with these two fine gentlemen. Until the next time, for Jesse Shule, Sean Higgs, and the best college basketball totals handicapper on the planet, Ross Benjamin. We'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care and God bless, folks.